My husband and his friends laughed while admitting they peed in the hot tub, and when I confronted him, he brushed it off like it was nothing. I warned him one more dismissal and I'd file for divorce. He didn't take me seriously until it was too late. It was mainly centered around his boyhood social circle, most of whom still have a family that live in the neighborhood. After we got done eating, a few of us decided that it would be nice to relax in the hot tub and look at the lights of the city. We had been there for maybe 5 minutes and my husband said, "Everyone ready?" His two friends gave a thumbs up, and then in succession they each said done. My husband's friend Sakim said it was done last, and they all started laughing, and the other two said, "Okay, we'll buy the next round." It was an obvious inside joke, so I asked what they meant, and they started laughing and explained the hot tub pee game that they had been playing since they were like 5 years old. I wanted to throw up and asked if they seriously all just peed in the hot tub. My husband said yes, and it's no big deal. I was disgusted, so I got out, took an hour-long shower, and went to sleep in his sister's old bedroom and decided I didn't want to talk to him until today. Today, I feel like I've calmly approached him and tried to explain how dirty he made me feel, how unsanitary it was, and how, while I appreciate that he has these long-running rituals with his friends, he needs to stop the ones that would make him laugh in middle school and for certain leave me out of them. All he keeps telling me is relax. You're making way too big a deal of this. I am sick of hearing him make excuses for this disgusting and childish behavior. How do I approach him to make him appreciate that I need him to never do this again? Top comment, competitive_cuddling. Next time you're on your period, mark his forehead with your blood like Rafiki did Simba to assert dominance. Update post. I posted about this on Friday morning. We spent all day Friday fighting about how not only was it disrespectful, but that he refused to even acknowledge my issues with literally being peed on. Around 10 p.m. I told him that if he said you're making way too big a deal of this one more time, I was going to file for divorce. He said it almost like he was daring me, told her my mom and I are going to talk to an attorney today. My dad is a partner in his accounting firm and he thinks that since we are young and don't really have much, the divorce should be very quick and simple. My Steek's husband has tried to call God knows how many times to apologize and saying he gets it now, but it's way too late for that. It was too late for that when he and his friends did the initial act. I have more self-respect than that. Relevant comments, commenter. Well, I think it had less to do with the peeing and more to do with dismissing how you felt about it. He kept saying it's not a big deal, but he could have just been apologetic and understanding from the start. OP, when I approached him on Friday morning to calmly talk about this, if he would have said, "I'm sorry, that was very rude of us and I will never do this type of thing ever again, no matter who I'm with." I could have easily gotten past this commenter. Good for you. I do not understand people saying this is an overreaction. The person who is supposed to always have your best interests closest to his heart demonstrated that he doesn't care about your consent. He doesn't care about your boundaries. He doesn't care about your feelings. Like, why stay married to someone who can't even meet the baseline for decency? The only way I would consider staying would be a promise from him to seek therapy individually and as a couple, and he would need to apologize to you in front of those friends and explain to those friends that what they did was not okay and why, and end that dumb childish game for good and take a course in boundaries and consent. OP, I think if he were to come up with your second paragraph on his own, not guiding him, I might be able to forgive him and cooperate. I also think he should ditch his childhood friends and grow up, but again, I'm not going to lead him to that decision. Commenter, I'd be careful of anything he says now though, as he could find this post, see your comment, and just tell you exactly what you want to hear. OP, for sure, he's on Reddit all the time and even listens to Reddit posts on YouTube, but I should have clarified the time for him to do that was Friday. Now, I'm so over it. Commenter info, have you texted your soon-to-be ex-in-laws to let them know they got to clean their hot tub? PLP. I sent my Mel an email, but I don't think she read that part because she only responded with how heartbroken she is, that I'm divorcing her son and she felt like she deserved an explanation. I did my part warning her about the dirty hot tub, but I don't owe her anything. Commenter, not your fault she's not going to listen and continue to chill in bubbling stale pee. I mean that it is funny that she wants an explanation like a woman. Your son and his friends all peed in your hot tub while I was in it. Like if she's cool with that, she needs to reconsider her bar on hygiene. Ain't your circus and ain't your monkeys anymore. OP. To be fair, I didn't tell her about him peeing on me. I don't want to bring that up to anyone unless it's needed in the divorce for me to get spousal maintenance, so unless he told her, which I really doubt, I don't know is the real reason. But like you said, it's not my thing anymore. He can tell her whatever he likes. Editor's note, spousal maintenance is the same thing as alimony. On spousal maintenance, I've supported him through a master's degree. I think state law says I'm entitled to 40% of his salary for half the number of years we were married. It will help me take some time off, get over the divorce, and get on my feet again. Commenter, how long have you been married for? OP, just over 5 years. Commenter deleted. Your husband dodged a bullet there. OP, I truly hope he feels that way. Judging by the 57 texts he sent me just this morning, I don't think he does. Commenter, downvoted. LOL, are you guys seriously trying to defend this lady's delusional 5-year-old mind? Just say it out loud. I am getting a divorce because my husband peed in a hot tub. OP, I've been saying to myself for 3 days now and it sounds more right than ever. Commenter, downvoted. It's pretty obvious you do not love him, LOL. It's cool if you want to bail, but threatening divorce in the middle of an argument is petty as fuck. OP, I loved him very much until Friday when he said you're making way too big a deal of this for the 10000 the time. Then I was over it. Mini comment update a few hours later. We're meeting with a lawyer in an hour. My mom keeps telling me to document everything as it will turn out better for me money-wise. Now to the next story, story 2. We broke up just after a month of dating because my boyfriend gave me a very bad and sexist book. Now I'm happy with my same-age husband. I met my boyfriend in our master's program. We became friends over this past year and started dating and becoming serious shortly before I left the state for a summer internship. He gifted me a book to read, saying it was one he liked. It's A Spell for Chameleon by Piers Anthony, a fantasy novel written several decades ago. I knew nothing about it prior and began laughing at it 2 pages in because of how ridiculous the writing was, especially about women. We Skyped after I got through the first chapter and I tried respectfully explaining my doubts about the book. He made a deal with me. Knowing I'm a big Harry Potter fan, he promised to give the HP series a chance, starting with Philosopher's Stone, if I gave his book a chance and kept reading. This rocked my world, and I had a sudden burst of motivation. I'm on chapter 3, and I cannot stand this book. It is one of the most sexist and misogynistic texts I have ever had to read, and it honestly makes me feel like crap. Not to mention it's just poorly written all around, painfully spoon-feeding obvious symbolism, and excessively throwing in fantasy creatures concepts that do nothing for the plot. The protagonist is a complete dial-hole that I couldn't care less about, and as a reader I don't want to follow him or anything in the fantasy world of South. But of course, flat out telling my boyfriend those thoughts about a book he enjoys would be hurtful, and he has every right to have different preferences. I am shocked that he would recommend such a book to me, though. He is a respectful and educated man, treating me very well and identifying as a proud feminist. This recommendation was out of left field. Does he not remember how hurtful the author's writing on women is? Did he read it at a young age and has since grown? I can't expect him to hold his end of the bargain and read Harry Potter, which is fine, especially if it means not having to put myself through Piers Anthony's excuse for writing ever again. I like my boyfriend a lot. How do I respectfully tell him why I cannot invest in this book anymore? It's important to me that he realizes the negative messages being suggested, but I want to do this without insulting his taste or making him feel at fault. Children, boyfriend gave me a book to read and I accept it. I think it's sexist and poorly written. How do I tell him that I cannot keep reading? Should I explain my concerns? Relevant comments. OP explains why the book is horrible. Example 1, I like beautiful girls, he said. And I like smart girls, but I don't trust the combination. I'd settle for an ordinary girl, except she'd get dull after a while. Sometimes I want to talk with someone intelligent, and sometimes I want to. He broke off. Her mind was like that of a child. It wasn't really right to impose such concepts on her. Example 2. That's the point, he said. I like variety. I would have trouble living with a stupid girl all the time, but you aren't stupid all the time. Ugliness is no good for all the time, but you aren't ugly all the time either. You are variety. And that is what I crave for the long-term relationship and what no other girl can provide. Example 3. All women are the same inside. They differ only in appearance and talent. They all use men. Example 4. That whole rape trial in chapter 3. Example 5, other girls manage to enhance their appearance by cosmetics or padding or specialized spells, but besides Sabrina, all other females look somewhat artificial. She was no enemy. This was the P2 example I mentioned. Example 6, there was much more of her he longed to see and to touch, but that could come only after marriage. She was that sort of girl, and it was part of her appeal. The girls who had it didn't need to put it on casual display. P3 Mikotoba. Oh, good Lord. I looked up the book and thought, this couldn't be that bad, could it? I guess it is that bad. Top comment. The first thing to ask is when he last read this book. If, like you said, he hasn't read it since adolescence, he may not remember how truly awful it is. If he's read it recently and still recommended it, well, I'd be totally honest about how I felt about it. But that's just me. You can certainly just tell him you gave it a fair shake, but it wasn't your cup of tea. Update. The post was locked shortly after I put it up, so I wasn't able to comment back to most of you. I went through every comment and took them all into consideration. Thank you all for your thoughts. We Skyped the other night and the topic came up. I started by saying I liked him a lot and really do appreciate how much he's willing to share with me. He caught on to where I was going with this and started laughing. Then I started laughing, and I realized how silly small of a thing this all was. I guess I didn't want to risk hurting his feelings. When the reason why I didn't like the book came up, I explained, and he totally understood. It's been at least a decade since he's read the book, and he can see where I would feel uncomfortable. He will still consider reading the first HP book since I gave his book a chance. And being a single dad, his kids also like the series, so it would be a chance for him to connect more with them. I ended by saying that I hope this doesn't discourage him from sharing more things he likes. If anything, it encourages me to find more that you'll appreciate. Q heart flutters. T lout ER, good talk, he's awesome. New update. Hi, I would reply to this under the username LazyKitBum, but it got locked a little over a year ago. Reddit banned me for sharing a mayor's office contact information LL, and I created this one shortly after. It's hilarious this post is being shared because it's from such a different time in my life. Your instincts are right. This relationship only lasted a month after this post. I took an opportunity to live and study abroad for a few months, and it was clear that he didn't want anything that deep, dodged any conversation that required vulnerability, didn't like that I wasn't always 100% perky, etc. I also had a rough breakup before this and wasn't making the best judgment calls when it came to dating. I could have caught a few more things about him that give similar concerns now as this book recommendation then, so I called it off. Oh my God, then he suddenly wanted to make it work and kept it up for over a year after the breakup. We weren't even together that long. He would text me as if we never ended, and I would shut it down. He eventually stopped, but I still get occasional notifications on LinkedIn that he viewed my profile. I'm now happily married to someone my age, not knocking appropriate relationships with age gaps. I'm good friends with a couple who are 12 years apart, but I dodged a bullet, folks. Thanks for giving me a good laugh with this flashback. Now to the next story, story 3. I'm 15 weeks pregnant with our poly family's second baby, and here I am thinking of running away from the family that we've created. Married for 9 years, me and my husband have been doing the polyamory thing for 4 years now. This started when my husband confessed to having feelings for one of our mutual friends. He really sold me on the idea of a poly triad, and we started living together. My family disapproved and stopped visiting us. That hurt, but things were okay. I did struggle with some jealousy issues. Although I told my husband that I was open to dating someone new and bringing the new person into our fold, in reality I wasn't ready at all. The guys I liked quickly distanced themselves romantically as soon they heard that I was a married female in a non-monogamous relationship. It was hard. As for the guys who were okay with my situation and pursued me, I wasn't attracted to them. Things changed in 2017 when my husband's girlfriend became pregnant with my husband's first child. I love the kid, I really do. She calls me mom and loves me a lot. Right around the same time my company promoted me. I went from working 4 hours a day to essentially living 4 months out of my state. I immersed myself in my work, and in 2019 my husband talked about having one of our own to complete the family. Fast forward to June 2020, I find out I'm pregnant and we are having a boy. We had a big gender reveal and everything. The kiddo knows that she's getting a baby brother. I'm currently 15 weeks along, and 2 nights ago my company offered me a permanent position in the new city. Because of COVID, they had to lay off many people, and they now need more people in leadership roles. From a career standpoint, it would be foolish of me if I let this opportunity go. But if I do that, it would break my family apart. Right now my husband and his girlfriend are working on the baby room, and I'm here sitting conflicted. I'm really tempted to take up the job offer and run away from the life that we've created. I'm also secretly contemplating an abortion. My friend thinks that I should take the offer. He thinks I'm unhappy with my life and that a change would do me good. I will be working with him if I take up the offer. I have friends in that city, so I know that I wouldn't be alone. I'm really stressed out thinking about it. What should I do? Commentators, this whole situation stems from the fact that you became poly under duress by nature of your cheating husband. You don't become poly because you have someone else lined up already. All these people telling you to just work it out failed to see that you were coerced into this situation. I'm baffled why you let it go on so long, especially since you didn't have a kid together. But I suppose it is your bicycles are for stability. I would get an abortion and go create a life actually enjoy instead of this day-to-day colorless life of acceptance you tolerated for way too long. OP comments, this was blunt and maybe the honest response that I needed. My husband and his girlfriend swear that they didn't start a romantic relationship until I was fully in the loop of things. But to be really honest, I don't know, maybe they did start out by cheating. But that ship has sailed and I accepted the situation. So looking back on that won't help my situation. But I do feel that I need a fresh start now, away from the mundane life that I have. 15 weeks pregnant, I'm getting an abortion next week and moving on from my poly family. I made a post a few days ago about being conflicted with a new job offer and an existing pregnancy. Just thought I'd share it here first. Last night I accepted the job offer and I'm getting an abortion next week. My friend is helping me every step of the way. I'll be filing for divorce in a week or two. I've had great years with my poly family and my husband, and now it's time for me to make the jump and dive into the unknown. Thanks to all the people who sent me supportive PMS and helped me make my decision. And yes, I did talk to the therapist via Zoom. That session helped me clear my head in a way that I hadn't felt before. And no, I haven't talked to my husband. I will talk to him after I actually get the abortion procedure done. I'm really focused at this moment and don't want conflicting opinions to derail my journey. So I will talk to him after it's all done. Thank you. Or P comment. I'm not poly. My husband became poly a couple of years into our marriage when he fell in love with a mutual friend, and I went along with it because I wanted to please my husband and I was afraid of our marriage breaking up. He was and is my only partner and I was terrified of losing him. Clearly that was a mistake and it built a lot of resentment inside me over the years which I couldn't understand or justify to myself. I finally aborted my 15-week pregnancy and I'm ending my polyamorous marriage. I moved out this Wednesday. If you check my post history you would know what I'm talking about. Just an update for the people who reached out to me. I did get an abortion last week on Friday. I finally told him this week on Wednesday I'd never seen him so broken. It broke my heart to see him cry, but I had to do it. His girlfriend hugged me, little kiddo hugged me and bid me goodbye. My husband refused to talk to me. I'm waiting for him to reach out. I'm giving him space right now. I'm at peace and I don't regret my decision. With this, I'm bidding my poly lifestyle a final goodbye. Thanks to all the people here who supported me. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real life stories happening around you.